It's known as the Bounce House, FBC Mortgage Stadium in Orlando, Florida, home to the UCF Knights. Knights rocking their throwbacks, and with more eyes on the program than ever before, UCF is locked in a tight race in their first season of Big East membership. In front of them is the Cincinnati Bearcats, also in their first year of conference membership. These two teams part of a three-way triumvirate on top of the Big East South Division, joined by UCF's rivals in South Florida.
Fields it inside the 5-yard line. He'll be tackled at the 17.
This is a big rivalry game for both these teams.
So Cincinnati's offense comes on the field first.
Dating back to their first season in the Conference USA together, these two have constantly gone back and forth.
One of the things that we saw, the clock's ticking down all year for this game, this day. Now they get their chance.
The game is 5, so it's 2nd and 5 now.
I'll take that every single time. Offensive line does a nice job up front. This back's vision and ability to get positive yards by lowering his pads on full display.
Something I want to do in the future for 2KU is I want to have Danny Pigbear and potentially Foxy, if we can get him on, to join us in a game of 2KU Jeopardy.
Catch made down the left side, an explosive play. In a big game before he goes out of bounds, the offense keeps churning, gets a fresh set of downs.
Prep the questions all about 2KU history, which I believe I've told some stuff about it.
There's some stuff.
The timing here is impeccable.
He'll hand it off. And the senior able to make the stop after a short gain. Well, Kirk, you played in rivalry games. No shortage of inspiration, but how do you manage the
For 2KU, that 2017 national championship is actually a 2023 national championship. Because if you remember last season, the Knights went undefeated.
They're voted as #1 in the 2KU poll.
And the defense able to hold him there to a short gain.
Being the lone undefeated in college football, they got an edge over. The Knights got an edge over Florida, who had one loss. They were the national champions through the title game. And in only the second time in history, we had a split. Now a quick test of your memory, Danny. Who was the other team to split a national championship with a power team?
Wasn't it Marshall?
That's right, it was Marshall. 2002, the Marshall Thundering Herd. That a MAC member. They won the Peach Bowl and remained undefeated. Oh, we tried faking him out. He's gonna go nowhere.
Boy, the options dried up quickly for the quarterback here. Very, very fortunate he was somehow able to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Here's the 2nd down play.
On 2nd and 10, the handoff going nowhere.
Behind the line for a loss of 1. The back just had no chance there. The defense is all over the drop play to stop him behind the line.
Yeah, I don't know if they were tipped off or what, but they weren't fooled at all. You could tell the defense was dialed in, knew exactly what was coming, and made the tackle.
7th play now, the opening drive, but it's 3rd and long. Dropping back, looking to throw for the first down.
Gonna go over the middle, has a man open, and no one near to tackle him. Touchdown, Cincinnati.
Touchdown, Bearcats. Well, that start could not have gone any better, Kirk.
Well, Chris, as you know, it's always huge for an offense's confidence to score on the opening drive. Most times, coordinators are just kind of feeling the defense out, giving them a lot of different formations, kind of see how they react.
And that's first blood in this rivalry game.
Here's the point after attempt.
Point after. On the way.
And the PAT
It's
makes
good.
it 7-0
It's clear.
open scoring.
Are you sure my mic is picking up all right?
I can hear you, so
Here's
yours
the
sounded
kickoff
good.
team. Let's see if they give the
Good, I wanted to make sure it was actually on the stream.
Fielded in the end zone. It's Harvey. Tackled at the 22. Good job by the coverage team.
UCF Cincinnati, big parts of realignment in the last cycle from 2022 and 2023. The new cycle has another gear turning. We were talking about the Conference USA last week, adding 2 new teams in Western Kentucky and Middle Tennessee. They'll be adding 4 more in the coming weeks. From the SoCon and American respectively, they'll add James Madison and Old Dominion, along with the Americans Kennesaw State and Charlotte. This will bring the CUSA to 14 teams for the first time since last season when they got gutted by all the power conferences. There's a halfback snap. Not going to go anywhere.
And remember, the last time these teams met, it came right down to the wire.
Well, Chris, there's so many great rivalry games that we all look forward to every single year, but with these 2 teams,
And
it just always seems
elaborating on those specific moves,
The Knights will hustle
it felt like the writing was on the wall for James Madison and Old Dominion. They were playing head over heels above their contemporaries. They're playing like a full notch above everybody else in the SoCon, and it was only a matter of time before they got a big membership. We do have some clinches we'll talk about coming up soon here.
good enough for first down yardage.
But yeah, this was sort of a no-brainer, and the CUSA increases their foothold in the state of Virginia, along with members since 2022 in Liberty. Meanwhile, Charlotte and Kennesaw are sort of opposites. I mean, Charlotte, FBS member since 2013,
It's Jefferson. Makes a quick catch.
or pardon me, FBS member since 2014. They played 1 season in the FCS before making their jump to FBS through the Big East, along with Delaware. That membership did not work out for Charlotte, nor did it work out for Delaware. Neither team made a bowl game in their stint. So they moved ship to form their own conference in the American. Those were the 2 schools who were the chief force behind the American being created.
He's brought down, but not before the game.
Charlotte won the inaugural championship, beating a Jacksonville State team who would be on their way out after the first year. Meanwhile, Kennesaw joined the FBS that season,
The offense facing a tough conversion here. 3rd and long from the 42.
and they're still very much an unproven commodity, at least in football. They do have pedigree in other sports.
Incomplete.
So it'll be interesting to see how both these teams develop in this new Conference USA. And it feels like right now CUSA has officially shed its former pseudo-power status with the loss of those members, and now they're realizing that they got to compete on the level of what will be next year's Mountain West, or on the level of the Sun Belt as well. Danny, what are your thoughts on this move? What does it say about these schools, and what does it say about the Conference USA?
What a rocky relationship that these schools have had with their conference. I mean, going from the Big East, power conference, to then forming a new small league to now being part of what has been historically been the best non-AQ conference. So that's a little bit interesting move for them, and they could work out for the Conference USA. Just hopefully the Conference USA finds a way to get these teams to be elevated and not just have them be lacking behind like in real life Conference USA.
Begin the second quarter. Pass complete. It's second down now. Off play action. He's looking
As now Cincinnati has the ball back,
Don't make the connection. That one is incomplete.
trying to go up 2 scores on a top 10 UCF in the bounce house. We've seen UCF have scares before. Virginia, they lost their first game after one of the longest winning streaks in college football. They lost to Dave's show.
Catch made on the right side. Tackled at the 40. That'll earn a fresh
However, they continued rallying after that. They are 8-1 on the year, I believe.
Yes.
8-1 on the year. They started the season 1-1 and have since rallied off 7 straight.
So they started the season 2-1.
2-1.
First win 2-0, the loss against Dave Show, and then
hand off to the right
6
side.
straight.
lost since.
Just a small gain. Looking at 2nd and 9.
And UCF, with a win tonight, would essentially eliminate Cincinnati from the conference, or from the division race. And it would all come down to Black Friday against USF.
Warren I-4.
USF has a win over Cincinnati.
There's the snap. Looking to throw the ball.
Thrown as he's hit, incomplete.
Took a hit that time.
Could have been a pick.
Would have been a pick, but nobody got their hands up.
Now the offense facing a 3rd and long from their own 41. Dropping back, looking to throw.
3rd down and 9, airing it out deep. Has a man open. What a play! Touchdown, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati just ran away from the defense. Well, a touchdown to a wide open man. Kirk, what in the world was going on the defensive side on that play?
What was the defense thinking here? You can't let a player roam free like that. They just completely forgot about him and gifted him a touchdown.
And now they'll set up for the point.
One thing I'll say, if I were UCF, I would probably want to open up the wallet because your head coach's contract expires after this season, and I'm sure the NFL might be knocking on this door. What are your thoughts on UCF's current standing?
That, of course, it would kind of bring the question of who from the NFL is. I don't know who this head coach has a preference towards, if he's looking towards any NFL team or just certain kinds, but definitely it would be good for UCF to keep him as long as they can, because, you know, having a, almost 2-year undefeated streak is very impressive for any coach.
I think it works out to 2 undefeated seasons over 3 years, the equivalent of it at least.
Defense is spread all over the field, creating some one-on-one matchups, and the quarterback makes them pay for it.
There's a 27-game win streak, if my math's correct.
Some pre-snap movement, back in motion.
Pump fake over the middle. Oh, he called his shot to the 20, inside the 20.
They bring him down, but not before an
Great pass, great run by them, and Nitro proves.
Huge play by this offense, a good throw, a nice accurate throw. But I think it's the
Look
run
at this.
to the catch
He
that
gets the
really
grab.
impresses me. And early in this game,
Is that
think they're gonna
that's some
After
form
the
of taunt?
shield.
back to him until this defense
He had the
shows that they can
block.
slow him down.
The point. That's just swagger right there. And that's something this UCF team has in spades.
And here the tight end shows off his
Whether it's through their boisterous personalities on the sidelines, whether it's through their whole Space U thing, whether it's through their cool set of uniforms that they got.
Now it's 2nd down here.
It's just confidence and swagger. That's what UCF football
Gonna run it. It's
really means, or really embodies.
there by the senior. Not going to be easy here. Backed up a long way to go for a 1st down. Dropping back. It's Jefferson.
He's gonna try running it himself. He's gonna be sacked.
It's a sack for the defense.
terrifying for a defense to be able to sit back and play zone and still get pressure on the quarterback with your defensive front.
Good name. But on 4th and 13, UCF will likely settle for a field goal here, and they will. It is a 4th and 13. Field goal on the way, and good. So UCF on the board now, 14-3, Cincinnati in the lead. We had a huge upset off stream in the form of Harvard beating an undefeated Columbia to hand them their first loss of the season.
So after the field goal, the kicker out there again to boot it away.
For the basically the de facto Ivy League championship.
He's going to return it from near the goal line.
So now Harvard, if they get one more win, will clinch an Ivy League championship and end Columbia's championship streak.
Can the defense come up with a stop this time? They'll bring him down just short of the 20.
I think this defense keeps thinking about them throwing the football, and by doing that, they're opening up running lanes. Good positive yards there by the running back.
Second down here, time for perhaps just one more play before the 2-minute warning.
Will they get the snap up before the 2-minute warning? No.
We've got a blowout
And after all of that, 14-3, Cincinnati still in the lead.
Offense getting set. It's second down.
I wouldn't get complacent with this lead.
Fakes the handoff.
They're going to go on play action. He steps way back. Good block on his blind side. He'll throw it out of bounds. Incomplete. Third and 5.
So let's see what they like here on 3rd and short from inside their own 20. Important to pick up this first down. Back to pass. It's Sorsby.
Pocket's collapsing. He's got to get rid of it. He'll heave it deep. Oh, but he dropped it.
Would have been a huge gain, but he could not collect it.
Whoa, you talk about a big hit there.
Defender was draped all over him.
Onto this football at a critical 3rd down. If this linebacker doesn't lower the blow, great timing. On
And that's a much-needed stop for UCF.
this team to 4th down.
The Bearcats will bring their punt team on the field now. Oh, he's got a crease here. Look out. Good effort by the return man. They get him down, but that's a solid gain in return. Okay, so the UCF offense is back out on the field. Not a whole lot of time remaining before halftime to cut into this.
Gonna air it. Oh.
It's Pittman. What a huge collision. Blow delivered there by the linebacker.
Well, that's the thing with this guy. You've got the ability to flex him out. He shows his versatility and what he can do from that slot position. He could be the quarterback's safety blanket.
They'll crank up the tempo here with the clock ticking down. Second down. Here's the snap. Quarterback drops back.
The pressure's coming. He'll throw it. Short throw across the first down line. Timeout UCF.
Late in this close game with halftime approaching. Offense keeps moving. It's a completion for a first down. And the quarterback drops back looking for an open
Over
man.
the middle again.
Catch is made down the
First
middle.
down.
Another first down.
26-yard line. This offense getting closer to the red zone.
How about the arm strength from this quarterback? He really didn't have any other option than to put it right in there and give it everything that he had. Great timing and a good job of squeezing that in between the defenders.
The offense finally producing here. Sets up a
50
first
seconds. The pressure's coming. He's zacked.
down. And escape. It's a sack for the defense.
That's a really nice job of bouncing back by this defense after giving up that big gain. This time they get the pressure and bring that quarterback down.
Clock is ticking.
Second sack today for that defensive lineman. Hawkins taking UCF with 2 timeouts.
A That sack sets up a second down and very long.
We'll get to the line.
Dropping back, it's Jefferson.
Over the middle.
On the crosser.
First down, and there's your timeout.
Timeout, that's their second of the half.
Just a good job
24 seconds, 3rd and inches.
making sure everybody's getting their touches. When you do that, the defense can't lock in on one guy or two guys.
The end zone is the goal, and they'll go for it. Touchdown, UCF.
Love to watch this quarterback go out and execute in this kind of situation. He's doing a
And the receiver's just soaking it in.
and feeling a sense of pressure to have to play with more urgency. Right now, he's executing. We're only in the second quarter. Plenty of time to get back in this game.
And now here comes the point after attempt.
Kick is up, and it's good.
Up and through.
One score game.
So the offense gets momentum scoring before halftime. Now the kickoff. We'll see if the defense can get us top and preserve that momentum. Return starts from inside the 5.
They'll only have about 18 seconds to get down the field. Will they try even? I would try. Might as well.
Here comes a handoff.
Hand it off.
Able to make the stop after a short gain.
And I'm willing to assume that means they're just going to let the clock run. That will be the end of the first half.
And that will
At the end of 2 quarters, Cincinnati with a lead on the road, 14-10. And look at the stats, almost even on passing yards. Meanwhile, UCF still with negative yards rushing.
That's a surprise.
About the same yards per play, 9 to 8.1. UCF has dominated possession. I think the rushing negative yards is probably due to those 2 sacks. And I think right now, I'm liking Cincinnati. I'm liking how they're performing. They're playing like the team we've seen all year. One of the most dominant forces in the Big East. Since Cincinnati will kick it off to UCF to start the 3rd quarter. Can the Knights get back in front?
That's where the offense will take over. And the UCF offense back out on the field now.
I will note, with the Big 12's loss... Oh, that was almost an interception. With the Big 12's loss, there is a potential path for one of the 3 Big East teams, UCF, USF, Cincinnati, who are 1 loss. There is a possibility that they could end up playing in the national championship. And that's and if Utah or Michigan were to lose coming up, now you really have to ask yourself, is a Big East team one of the best teams in the country?
I don't think so. Well, because there's so much top teams in the Big Ten. You know, even if Michigan loses, there's still Ohio State, Penn State, Wisconsin. You know, teams who are still in that top 10 who could easily come up and take that spot. And then, well, and if it's not Utah, then of course there's potential of Oregon, who potentially could also make it in, is still in the top 5.
I feel like Oregon doesn't have a case, though, because they didn't even play in their conference championship. Meanwhile, the Big East will have that ahead of them.
And plus, also the potential of an SEC one.
Right now, the only team in that conversation would be Tulane.
Looking to crank up the tempo a bit.
Tulane had a close game against Auburn this week. The Green Wave did get the win there. Big play inside the 40. But there is a real pathway. Let's say the 2-loss Tennessee wins the SEC. Let's say Arizona, who I believe is about to clinch the South. I believe the Wildcats are one away from clinching the South with the losses by USC and UCLA this week.
Well, no, there's also TCU, who they are tied with.
TCU lost, I believe, as well.
Oh, they did? Okay.
First down, looking to throw the football.
And potentially Arizona.
Oh, it's intercepted! And no one's near him!
Going the other way, can they catch him?
Will they catch him? What a job to run him down! He'll be brought down inside the 10, but that looked like he was going to be gone.
Good shape.
Wow, what a play by this defense to come up with the interception. And
Uh-oh, but he's injured.
Oh, was injured.
But you got to give the quarterback some credit. Yeah, he threw a pick, but he didn't get
Gave everything to catch him.
Instead, he makes the tackle to prevent the defense from scoring.
But it's the linebacker who gets a pick. And that's going to change the trajectory of this game.
Suddenly off the interception.
Was like the quarter, was like Jefferson got injured. The QB.
The shotgun running play call. And he'll be brought down.
But let's say Tennessee wins. Let's say Tennessee, Arizona win the SEC Pac-12. The Indiana-Ohio State game is still yet, as of the stream, still has yet to get a score.
Play for the offense. And the quarterback keeps it here.
But let's assume for now the Big Ten spot is secure. Especially now with the Wake Forest Demon Deacons are the one-loss team left in the ACC. Let's say Georgia Tech wins that conference. And with the Big 12, there are no longer any one-loss teams left in the conference, with Oklahoma State's loss incomplete. What that now means is the two conferences with remaining with at least a one-loss team, or at least a one-loss team that would be a conference champion, would be the Big Ten and the Big East. And if these results stand, imagine a national championship between Michigan and Cincinnati.
Oh, that'd be Ohio State's worst dream.
Well, don't forget to join Type of Joy 101 Discord. You can find the scores for this week ahead of the 2KU Weekly podcast. Those will be posted later tonight. The last time the Big East played in a national championship game, you have to go back to 2018. West Virginia won the conference that year. They lost the national championship to LSU.
But imagine that, your national champion will have one of the 4 new Big East teams.
I believe the last actual national championship game won for the Big East. I believe you have to go to 1998 in Virginia Tech.
Well, here the defense decided to sit back and play zone, and that front didn't do a good job of pressuring the quarterback. He had the time to make the throw, and he put it on target.
The Knights will crank up the tempo. Off the play fake, looking to throw.
On play action, he'll heave it up there. Connect your controller, but it's incomplete. Another thing that didn't connect was the pass there. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Important 2nd down play coming up. Looking to throw. It's Jefferson.
Gonna air it out. It's caught.
First down.
It's first down.
But not before he gets into enemy territory at the 45.
The tight end drag route is the perfect option for an offense looking to scheme that position open for some yardage. Perfect execution here for a first down.
The Knights will have 1st and 10 here.
Yes, the last correction, the last Big East team to win a national championship was 1990. It was 1999. Virginia Tech won it.
Takes the handoff, heads to the right.
Of course, VT, now a ACC member, has been since 2005.
Against the run. These guys have not been able to do anything on the ground, and it's because of that defensive line and those linebackers taking away the run game.
No huddle now for the offense. Hands it off from the gun.
Going on a handoff. Oh, he's got room. Look out. Inside the 25-yard line.
But an explosive gain. They'll move it down to the 23-yard line.
Well, Chris, that's a combination of really good blocking and outstanding.
Next week, we
patience
could
out
have
of
a
the
big
back. He
potential
waited
decider
and
for the
used
Big
his vision
East
and
North
patience
Division.
to allow that play to open up and then accelerate
Who's
it
playing?
through the hole to give him that huge gain.
Temple against Rutgers.
All right. I believe both those teams won this week. That will decide that division.
Yep. Rutgers beat Syracuse, who was looking like they could have won it in that weird tiebreaker situation they had, but with that loss, it's now up to Rutgers and Temple.
Tight end like that, but they did. I think it's just blown coverage. Whatever defense they were in, they need to make some adjustments. Make sure that doesn't happen again.
Second down play coming up for this offense. Back to throw. It's Jefferson.
Over the middle. Couldn't stay on his feet to get any further, but he made the catch. 3rd and 7 from the 20-yard line.
Man-to-man coverage, you run the drag route. You'd prefer to get the ball downfield, but the matchup called for at least some positive yards underneath, and he makes a nice throw.
The offense eager to keep this drive going, but facing a 3rd and long from the 20 now. Dropping back, looking to throw for the first down.
On 3rd and 7 to the end zone.
Down.
Did he stay in? If it's so, it's a touchdown, UCF. And they might be a field goal away from tying it, but I wouldn't be surprised they review.
Finding the most favorable matchup and then going to that receiver for the score.
Hold on here a second.
They're
They
reviewing.
will review it,
Has signaled they want to take another look at this one.
and it will
And it
stand.
stays.
And that review confirms
And this game is about to be tied.
correct, so the play will stand.
Kick is up
He knocks through the
and
field.
good. They were a bit hesitant on the call.
Here in the third period. Kickoff teams come on the field now to send this one away. And he'll lead the kickoff right there. They'll start from the 25. And the first play of the drive now from the 25. On 1st and 10, they'll look to throw it.
As all day, he'll just throw it out of bounds.
Away there, safe move, had nobody open.
Chris, on this play, he has nobody open. It's better than taking a sack. He doesn't get intentional grounding because where he threw it, there was an intended receiver. I think there's no harm, no foul.
Kirk Herbstreit sounds like he's from New York, but not really.
Yeah.
Back in motion now. Back to pass.
I don't know where he's actually from. He's got to throw it quick.
Snags the quick throw.
And only get one.
Not much of a gain on that completion.
You're going to need a first down conversion coming up.
That's the end of the 3rd. We're going to
All right.
the 4th, tied up.
At the end of 3, 17-17.
And let's see how this one unfolds in the final quarter, set to get underway. The offense now facing a 3rd and long from the 26. Got to avoid a mistake here. Grab down the middle. It's Kiner.
And it's 4th and 3.
First down. It's 4th down now.
Do they trust in their defense or they go for it?
Positive yards here, but they're going to be short of the first down marker to set up 4th down. Really good job by the defensive tackling and the.
I don't know if I'd go for it this far in your own territory. They will punt. There's not a lot of yards to gain. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a fake. And they will punt it. And they'll take the fair catch of the 25.
So the UCF offense is back out on the field. The last drive, the passing game, very effective. Moved them right down the field. And the defense
First
makes
down.
adjustments.
Almost the first.
They tackle him right at the 35-yard line.
Man, you know, the back gets a lot of the attention here, and he's a good back. I love to see that offensive line win the battle of the line of scrimmage.
UCF is wearing their helmets based on their old Golden Knights era. Back then when they were called that during the FCS and early FBS days.
And looks like the quarterback's going to run.
Gonna run it himself. No.
Backwards, losing
Good stop by the defense.
A little bit slow to get up.
One of those critical third down plays coming up.
On 3rd and 4.
Pre-snap motion from the receiver. Dropping back. It's Jefferson.
Oh, it's broken up.
Nearly an interception by the big fella.
Nearly
I
a
think that
pick.
Could have been like a pass interference.
Man, on your own
No flag is
side, you're
called.
playing a risky
Let's take a
game
look.
here, 3rd and short.
I don't think he saw him, so I don't think it was intentional.
The best way you can sometimes is just hand the ball off to your running back and have him get behind.
Got to bunch everybody up here on 4th and 4 as both teams have traded 3 and outs.
And on 4th down, the punter sends it away. The coverage team
And we're about where we started last time.
And the Cincinnati offense retakes the field now.
From the 30-yard line, 1st down.
3 and out. Can they get a drive going this time? Just trucks the man.
No pressure, just the Big East on the line.
Gaining 4 yards, so 2nd and 6.
Nice solid run here by this back. Did a nice job of just kind of finding that lane, pick up some positive yards there on 1st and 10.
Offense getting set. 2nd down play here. Tailback with another carry.
Stream lag, but that's a 1st down.
And it's a 1st down to the 42.
Cincy and they're all white.
Mesmerized watching these runners who have great vision. You know, the eyes that carry their feet to the open space.
And that'll get them to about midfield.
I just love watching
Or just
those
shy of
guys
it.
do work.
Big guys up front lined up. It's 1st down.
42.
Off the play fake, looking to throw.
Going on play action. Has the man open past the 50. And we're back in the night territory.
They bring him down, but the game moves the ball into enemy territory at the 43.
This is why running the football is so important. You run the ball and then you go play action. It affects the eyes of the safeties and linebackers and frees up some space for the tight end to be able to pick up a nice gain.
And the
And
Bearcats
surprising
begin a new
upset today,
series with the
UGF got their first ever win in the
quarterback
FBS.
drops back
Over a
in the
5-win
secondary.
Duke, no less.
They make the stop, but
That's enough for 1st down.
solid gain that time.
He was levitating.
Up there, they find
Anyone see that?
in the zone and pick up
Yeah.
the 1st down.
Yeah, really nice call here, Chris, to be able to pick up this 1st down. On this
Strange
drag route.
things
Quarterback
happen in
did a
the
nice job of being
2KU.
Patient, waiting for that window to open up in that zone, and he put it right on the money for the receiver to have a chance to not just catch it, but eventually get the 1st.
On the run, it's Kiner.
Trying to find a hole, get 2 yards out of it.
Chris, overall, it's been a tough day for this offense, but especially for this
And with
running
just
back,
over
they've
2
been
minutes to
able
go,
find
probably
traction.
one more play coming
It's
up
made this offense
before the 2-minute
somewhat
warning.
one-dimensional,
warning.
and a large reason they're trailing in the 4th quarter.
2nd down after that run on the previous play.
Cincinnati would love a touchdown here.
And the single back takes the handoff.
Instead, they'll just hand it off
That's a nice tackle there
for a
on the
short
single.
gain, and that will take us to the 2-minute break.
Stops now for the 2-minute warning as we head into the dramatic finish of this game.
Are we allowed to call it a 2-minute warning, or because they say 2-minute warning, but the caption says 2-minute timeout?
We've had so far. 3rd down and the crowd really getting into it.
Not sure.
They'll run it.
They're
Some
gonna
of the
run
games
it on
depending
3rd
on
and
the target.
6.
Able to stop him. It's 4th down now. And now the defense will
4th and
call
6.
a
4th and 5.
before this critical down, just to get everybody on the same page. So on
Alright,
4th
go
down,
for the field goal.
Find a field goal here
hold your breath.
for the lead. Kick is on the way,
Gives the offense
and he got it.
points to show for that drive. And they take the lead here in the final 2 minutes.
But there's nothing more impressive to me than a kicker that can come through in the clutch. Gives them
Let's
the
take a
lead
look
here in
at
the
that.
4th quarter,
Ooh,
but there's
just
still time left
inside.
for a final drive, so their defense will have to step up.
They really
That
wanted
guy does not
to
approve.
show that guy.
We were contractually obligated to show that guy a certain amount of time during the broadcast.
Following the field goal, the kickoff
I'm
Keep it
glad-
Taylor Swift.
I'm glad to say we've met our quota for the day. And we are expecting a hefty pay bonus.
It's Montgomery. To be tackled at the 17.
I saw a lane. He could have taken it all the way back.
UCF offense back out on the field now. So here we go. It could come down to this possession.
Not the first time UCF had a game decided on a field goal or a kickoff return.
Everything that's going on in this field in a rivalry game, if you're a quarterback, this is what you dream about. Having the ball in your hands with a chance to lead your team down and potentially win this game.
Second down play coming up. To the air. It's Jefferson.
Gonna air it out.
Looking right.
He's got it.
And the defense.
But it'll be short of the first. There's only a minute left.
Man,
3rd and 2.
a lot of credit. You're taking away
Why aren't you
the
calling your
receiver.
timeouts?
That primary target forces the quarterback to find a second or third option. He gets positive yards, but anytime you can take away the big play late in the game, it's going to help you be able to secure victory.
Only a minute to go. He's gonna run it. He's got the first down. They're not gonna call their timeout.
Well, how many times do we see this late in a fourth quarter?
Why?
You know,
Why aren't you
pass
calling the
rush is gonna be
timeouts?
there. They're getting after him. They're getting upfield. They get a great push. But what do they create? Space in lanes, and he takes off and picks up a first down.
The clock is still running. They got to get set quickly.
Yeah, what he said.
On 1st and 10 here, looking to throw the ball.
The pressure's coming. He's got to run it again.
Breaks loose at the 40.
He'll get out of bounds. That will stop the clock.
Out of bounds. It'll move this
Out at the 49-yard line with 32 seconds to go.
He's had an opportunity here to really kind of
At the very least, you can tie your game with a field goal.
scramble to pick up
A
some
very
yards
far
and
field
get a
goal.
first down and get out of
But
bounds.
It'd be the longest
Better
we've
than
seen all year.
score quickly now, looking for some big
I would
plays
wager
right
over a
here.
60-yarder.
On 1st and 10, looking to throw.
Or we can make that a moot point.
Makes the grab.
That's your first or your second timeout.
With 27 seconds remaining.
You're now in Cincinnati territory at the 44-yard line with 27 seconds to go. You only have one more timeout in your arsenal.
Shotgun, he's probing.
Gonna air it. Has a man open to the 25-yard line. Timeout Knights. 23 seconds to
I'll
go.
tell you what, this guy's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. And here we are, late in the game. He needs to continue to play with that consistency. That's a
Gonna
great
throw it out of
example.
bounds with 20 seconds left. And this one going down to the wire. They're going to try a field goal.
They're trying to ice him.
They'll ice the kicker.
And the defense will take time out to stop the clock. 20 seconds
It's
remaining.
down to this to tie the game with 20 seconds. Kicks on the way, and it is
And it's
no good. He missed it.
To tie this game, still down by 3.
Boy, this
Oh,
guy's
no.
reliable to this. I thought that was going to be an easy field goal and 3 points, but instead he misses, so you walk away with nothing.
And that might be ball game. It is ball game. No timeouts here.
Time for victory formation.
And Cincinnati survives.
Luckily, real life has made me numb.
What an unfortunate way to end it for UCF. As for Cincinnati now, they pull off the upset, but they need help to make the conference championship. They're going to need UCF to beat USF at the end of the season, so that Black Friday game is still on the line. But this is only the beginning for all of these teams in their Big East tenure. What a season for
Cancel the program,
Cincinnati.
Cancel everything.
What an unfortunate way to end it. Let's take a look at the field goal one more time, just to see how close it was. Oh, it's right below that one. Ah, it won't even show it.
Yeah, that field goal looked a bit sus.
It was close. I wish that for these sim games, they changed the camera angle so it was easier to see if it went in or not. I don't doubt it didn't. But what a unfortunate way to end. That's going to do it for us here tonight. Thank you all for watching. Join us on Monday for the 2K Weekly Podcast. What's up? But, I'm Type of Joey 101, joined by Danny V. Thank you all for watching, and so long!